Hello everybody and welcome to Toadstool Tarot. I'm very excited today to present to you a deck which I ordered a couple days ago. I saw it by chance online. It's a couple years old. I'd never seen it or heard of it before. It is possibly the most beautiful deck I have ever seen in my life. That's saying something. I quickly saw a walkthrough and plopped down my money and ordered it straight away. Came in the mail in 2 days. It is the White Witch Tarot. It is by Maja D'Aoust. D''Aoust. It is a majors only deck. Don't let that deter you. Hang with me. It comes in a beautiful little hard knocker of a box with a little ribbon pull, magnetic lift, lovely little ribbons to hold the gate open, and there's a little book inside, and the deck was underneath. I've removed the deck momentarily. Inside there's a little bio of Maja. She's a practicing white witch whose interest in alchemy and the esoteric sciences spans her entire lifetime. After completing her bachelor's degree in biochemistry, she studied Oriental medicine and later earned her master's in transformational psychology with a focus on shamanism and the I Ching. She writes about alchemy and magic and lectures nationally on esoteric topics. She works for her nonprofit, The Well-Wishers, along with Dr. Kelvin DeWolf, to bring education and services of ancient knowledge to the community of Los Angeles. I did do a little bit of research on her. There are some YouTube videos. I didn't watch for too long. I couldn't tell too much about her. I'm looking at this deck mostly from an art point of view more than anything else. It is quite unusual and quite stunning. The deck itself is published by, where is it? It says on the book. Doesn't say on the box. It is Red Feather Mind, Body, Spirit, an imprint of Schiffer Publishing. I don't have any decks by Schiffer, at least not until now. The back of the box just briefly says, White Witch Tarot. Use the transformative and healing power of the White Witch as White Witch Maja D'Aoust explores the 22 major arcana archetypes of the tarot through meditative art and channeled mysteries in this stunning black and gold deck and companion guide. Use this deck as a traditional tarot, majors only system, or delve into a technique using protagonists and antagonists pitted against each other until they reach unification, much like Shakespearean therapy, where we explore problems via another lens. Learn to visualize and build your own reality by discovering answers to your deepest questions, bringing to light powerful truths, and seeing the radiance of the self through a poetic treatment of the majors. created through decades of research into alchemy and different divinational modalities. This deck offers a rich new perspective on using the cards to unveil what has been hidden. The box is a matte box with sort of a gold leaf, kind of, gold foil print on it or something. The little book inside is gorgeous. It's a matte finish with a little glossy inset here for the title. It's like a little art book. And I should tell you something about the art in this deck. The art in this deck is unusual for a tarot. It looks like, I don't know if you ever had art classes when you were a child, and they did this thing called scratchboard, which is sort of a chalky board that they coat in black ink or something, and you take a little stylus and scratch off the top layer, revealing the white through. So it's basically a black deck with light shining through in the white lined areas. It's line art, but it's stunning. It also reminds me of sgraffito, I think that's the word, I'm not sure. There's a method of pottery, I believe, where you have layers of glaze, and you have a dark layer on top of a lighter layer, and then you scratch with a tool, revealing the color underneath through the scratched areas. So it's almost like this is sort of line art in a negative version. It's like the light just bursts out of the lines against black backgrounds. When we get into the cards, I'll show you they're going to be very hard to keep because they are extremely glossy. I mean, you could almost use them to scry, and they are that glossy. And it's almost like patent leather shoes. They will show up any body oils or fingerprints. So it's going to be a little bit tricky buffing them and keeping them looking nice, and I hope that they don't scuff or wear over time. Maybe handled very carefully. The book has a full page for each of the cards in the deck, and it's all in black and white here. You'll see the slight color difference in the cards when I show you. There is a really nice little acknowledgement in the front. The contents of this work arrived as a result of engaging the practice of techniques originated by Dr. Kelvin DeWolf in his self-developed system, paradigmofpower.com. These techniques involve ancient methods originated by his Native American tribe, the Micmac, combined with the Taoist Neigong traditions and his own personal experiential insights. They are meditative, concentrative, and perception-based methods to achieve amplified awareness of reality and access the subconscious for each representative character and archetype in the deck. I used this meditation process to receive the information relayed in the archetypes of the cards through language and imagery. Here's a little thing explaining how to use the deck, some suggested technique, and then it goes into the cards. These images, the writing on each of the card is sort of like a little poem. this deck opens with the Magician and puts the Fool at the end, and the cards are not numbered. The Magician, keyword magnetism. The Magus is Magus is magnetic, acquiring ability, obscuring objects, weaving warp and weft, shifting into appearance what is already present, previously occulted, revealed now, through a direction of immortal primal power that has existed before you ever thought, to cast a spell and will remain long after you have made a wish to become the one who knows, move magic through you as a wild wind blows. It's a really beautiful little book. It's 56 pages, and it's like a little art book, and it's beautiful art. And the art, I wanted to say, reminds me very much of the art of two French surrealist women artists. One of them is Valentine Hugo, and the other is Toyen, Toyen. You can look those up and research those if you like. There's a lot of, mostly the men in surrealism were, recognized. And there were a few women people know, like, of course, Frida Kahlo, Leonora Carrington, Dorothea Tanning, Remedios Varo, a few others, but not so much Valentine Hugo or Toyen. And some of their line work is very much like this, with light line work on darker backgrounds. Now, I don't know if Maja is familiar with these artists, but the art style is very, very different. I'm hoping that these cards will show up okay. The card size is a little different than the usual tarot. It's about the same height, but they're wider. Almost like an oracle card. And I usually don't like oversized cards or oracle-sized cards. But actually, these I don't mind. Maybe because there are only 22 cards in the deck, it feels more substantial for the cards to be a little larger, and they're not a difficult size to handle. They're large, but not so large that they're awkward. Oh, they do have a gilt edge. Oh, and I want to say here and now, a lot of people use the phrase gold gilding. I believe, and you can chat me on that, I believe that's redundant, because if it's gilded, it's gold. You don't have to say it twice, gold gilding. But anyway, these are gilt-edged or gilded or have gold edges, however you want to refer to it. I've rearranged these to put the Fool first, but they put the Fool last. All right, I'll put the Fool last because that's the way they did it. Now, these are the backs of the cards. See, I'm already 13 minutes in and I'm just getting to the cards now. Hopefully, if you don't want to listen to that preamble, you could just drag and skip to this section. I'm hoping that you can see these okay, because as you can see, they are so glossy that they reflect quite a bit. But the image is sort of, like I said, it's kind of like a scratch board with this sort of a goldy yellow color coming through the black. And they remind me very much of sort of interdimensional, spiritual, sometimes alien kind of images. You'll see a lot of them have these strange kind of alien slanted eyes, and very spooky. And there are a lot of like mixed images between, human aspects and animal aspects. The archetypes are all kind of mixed around. But I love that it's like they're out of a dream state or interdimensional beings or something. It's kind of a revelation of light beings coming out of the dark. Okay, enough of my rambling. Those are the backs of the cards. Oh, maybe I should turn it over for you so you can see. You can see a little bit of difference there in the eyes, like two different kinds of vision. It looks sort of like an S shape too. And these look almost like hands going down into this scale pattern, like a reptile. Okay, anyway, so that's the first card, the Magician. If I didn't say it already, these cards aren't numbered. They just have a label at the top. That one it's sort of like a horned figure that's partly human, but from the side looks like it might be two goats or some kind of two hares. The hands in here radiate. When they show hands, they radiate energy. It's really I'm beyond words, and yet I'm just throwing all these words out there because these images just blow me away. They're very modern, very abstract, but in some ways, like I said, they're almost like a throwback to these surrealist line drawings from the 20s and 30s, like Jean Cocteau or something. This is the High Priestess. And she's got sort of ideas coming out of the top of an opening in the top of her head, like stars on strings. And she has ears which are sort of like cross between lightning bolts and wings, and her body appears to be the female reproductive system with fallopian tubes and which turn into hands. I mean, it's very, very strange and powerful. This is the Empress. You can see there's sort of a fetus in the heart of the figure, and the outstretched hands with energy emanating from them. This is the Emperor. This is the Hierophant. There's a little skull in the center. There's kind of a human face down here with eyes and the two keys, of course. It looks like out of the top there's sort of a fish. Not sure. It looks like maybe kind of a fish head. I'm not really sure. These are really wide open to interpretation. This is the Lovers, which you can see two faces in profile back to back, joined as a third face in the center. And the hands sort of intermingled there, joined. This is the Chariot. Oh, I also wanted to say, when I opened this deck, it came, the inside was not, the outside was shrink wrapped, the inside was not. It had one of those plastic bands around the cards. I did have a couple of issues. The label on the inside of the box, the way it was glued, was misglued, and there was a little pulled area of the white revealed from the black box, which I took a black Sharpie and colored in. It was, it was a defect, but it wasn't so much for me to be upset about. However, there were a couple of cards that have issues. can't see it here, but there's some little indentations on this card, and one of the other cards has a crease at the bottom. I've written to Schiffer and hope they'll replace these cards. I'll let you know in the comments how I make out with that. If not, I'll live with it. But, you know, it would be nice if the deck was perfect, and I was a little bit disappointed that there were some minor flaws there. This is the Strength card, which I love. I love all of those hands. Strength, sort of reaching out, grasping, shielding, you know, interconnected. I'd love to know what you guys think of this deck. This is the Hermit. I have a feeling that a lot of you are going to have trouble with the gloss. It is very glossy. But these, you know, handling and holding these, it's almost like everyone with the gold edge, and it's like a little enamel artwork or something. It's just like so stunning to behold. And the images you can really linger on for much longer than I'm doing, even though I'm really stretching out this video. This is the Wheel of Fortune, which is an Ouroboros, and seems to be wings coming out of that. And there's a sort of a embryonic ghost of a figure in the center of that wheel. Some of the line work is so fine that I don't know if it's communicating in the video here. This is Justice, and I didn't quite know what to make of this sort of Z shape. There's a blade above and a blade below, and the main difference between the two characters seems to be their eyes, their vision. And I sort of read it as in Justice as an eye for an eye. I don't know what the book says. I think the book is, as you heard, is not real specific. It's very ambiguous through the poetry. This is the Hanged Man, which is really unusual because there is what looks like a hand reaching for an eclipsed moon or something inside of an hourglass. There's a little skull drifting through like the sand. There's a foot and a figure in the bottom there, and the profile face of the figure with its eye being held in the beak of some kind of a bird. It's very surreal, dreamy stuff. It just blows me away. This is the Death card. This is one of the ones that was damaged. You can't see too much in this light. There's a crease at the bottom, kind of, and the gold on the edge is a little bit off. As you can see a kind of a skull there, but it's filled with, you know, lots of profiles and elements from different images. The stuff that dreams are made of. Temperance. The Devil. Okay, I'm going to try not to say much more about these images and sort of leave them up to you. The Tower. Okay, I take that back. This isn't a typical tower, but a lot of times in the Tower and in some of the ones from the Marseille decks with the tree, the basic thing is being struck by lightning, and you do get that sort of dark cloud and lightning electrical sort of aspect in this Tower card. The Star. It's like a star being. And there again, that hand with the radiant energy. The moon with beautiful eyes and lips and the crab claws. Cancer the crab, or perhaps crayfish claws. The sun. This is a very alien looking sun with the blank eyes or black eyes and the energy radiating around the egg-shaped skull. Judgment. This is the image on the front of the box. Judgment. I love that this element of judgment is all these faces floating like balloons above this figure, sort of judgmental thoughts or notions, or the perception that one is being judged by others. And what would Freud say about this deck? And the world. The world is like a burden on the back of this character that seems to have two faces. One with eyes open, one with blank eyes, two different kinds of vision aspects of viewing or dealing with the world. I'm sorry about the glare. That's just the nature of this beast. I'm hoping you can get enough from these to appreciate them. And this is the Fool, which I will, put first in my deck. Of course, when I shuffle, who knows where it'll end up. But in the book, they listed this as the last card rather than the first card. And I'm trying to think if they had some special... in the contents. The Magician, Magnetism. The High Priestess, Sentience. The Empress, Creation. The Emperor, Dominion. The Hierophant, Reception. The Lovers, Reciprocity. The Chariot, Determination. Strength, Manifestation. The Hermit, Individuation. Wheel of Fortune, Recapitulation. Justice, Recalibration. The Hanged Man, Repentance. Death, Metempsychosis. Well, I don't know what that is. Metempsychosis. Temperance, Restraint. The Devil, Unrelinquishing. The Tower, Numinosity. The Star, Projection. The Moon, Instinct. The Sun, Unification. Judgment, Redemption. The World, Liberation. And the Fool, Becoming. So, it sounds pretty psychological and different than any deck I've ever run across, but who knows, as I live with this over time, but right now, this is a treasure for me, and I really hope to continue to enjoy and love it. I bought so many decks over the past few months that I will probably review in my Thanksgiving month, November Live on Monday night. Some of them I have remained enjoying, others I could, having been through a couple of times, the luster wore off and I could move on. But there are a few that I underestimated that were amazing, and a couple I overestimated that were less than wonderful. And This one I'm blown away by, so we'll see, you know, how time holds up with this one. But I just wanted to share that with you and hope that you enjoyed that. It's the White Witch Tarot from Maja, M-A-J-A, D'Aoust, D''A''O''U''S''T. And I got it on Amazon. So anyway, until next time, thanks for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.